I have my first speaker, MP Henry Smith. Please, if you'd like to come and say a few words.
Thank you very much indeed, and thank you for arranging this important and very moving event. It is difficult to follow your words because as you read out the names of those children who have been killed, caught in the crossfire of a conflict that should never be happening, it reminds us all as parents just the cost. That it isn't often the politicians who are the ones who suffer, but actually the innocents who get caught in between. And you're absolutely right that yes, we are grateful that there is a ceasefire as from Friday, but this conflict will continue to flare up again and again unless there is a lasting peace and a lasting settlement. Anyone who's been to East Jerusalem or the West Bank know just how close different communities are, literally one street to another, and that the only solution is for different communities, different faiths to be able to live together, but that has to happen with fair borders, and that's why it's right that the state of Palestine should be internationally recognized by this country and by countries around the world, and on borders that are fair and equitable, similar to the 1967 borders between Israel and Palestine. That is the only solution, and illegal occupation has to stop in those areas. I have a personal memory of this conflict. In that I had an uncle who was a Palestinian police officer who was killed by the IDF many decades ago now. But the killing has to stop and a lasting peace has to be found. And in that, all of us in this country and around the world have a responsibility, and I'm very proud that Crawley is speaking out like so many other parts of our community today. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be with you and to reflect with you.
Thank you very much, Henry. Thank you very much. Can I have
to access aid or reasonable food and habitation in the Gaza Strip? The reality is that we are told that this is a long history to all of this, that it is complicated, and that is certainly true. And for Britain, it's a hard case to be involved in because we played a major role in creating the problems that there are today. But this is not about history. This is about the lived experience every day of Palestinians who are forced to live at the threat of the loss of their homes, of being run out of parts of Jerusalem, of the routine harassment and the threat of death. It has to stop. And we know that this will not stop. This ceasefire will not last. There have been so many ceasefires. It is a pause. The only solution is to create a viable state of Palestine in the Middle East, for Israel to listen to the voice of the world in the United Nations, which has repeatedly called for them to return to their 1967 borders, to stop persecuting members of their own community within Israel, and to allow us to move forward with peace. And so many people here today, of so many different colours politically, will tell you this. The question is, what are people going to do about it? The world has said it time and time again. At the very least, we as British citizens have the right to expect of our government that they will not allow weapons to be sold where there is a reasonable belief that they will be used against men, women and children, innocent men, women and children. I wrote to the Foreign Secretary this week calling on them to cease those exports until we are in a position where we know that they will not be used against Palestinians and other innocents. It has to end. The UK is not a weak state. We have the power to act. It is right that we act. We have a duty as citizens to ask, why is our government not acting? Thank you.
They tell us that if you resolve the Palestinian conflict, you can resolve anything. It's the hotspot of the Middle East. It's the unresolvable issue. That's what we are told. It's very complicated, brother. Politicians can't fix it. Activists can't fix it. It's not simple. The first thing I want to say is actually that's a lie. The Palestinian issue is a very simple issue. This is an issue of occupation. The Muslim lands have been stolen. The houses are being bombed. The children are being killed. Do we all see this, brothers and sisters? Do we witness this? Do we see it happening?
Yeah.
The Zionist state has decided that it's okay to come to a land where people are living peacefully together and just take over. So I want to ask you a few questions, brothers and sisters. Do we want to continue with this occupation? No. Brothers and sisters, the people in Gaza and Aqsa can't hear you. Do we want to continue with this occupation? No. Do we want to free Palestine? Yes. Do we want to free Al-Aqsa? Yes. Inshallah. The second thing, they tell us, be careful what you say about the Jews. Don't hurt anybody's religion. It's their beliefs, brother. How foolish do you think we are? We know that anti-Zionism is not the same as anti-Semitism. We are anti-Zionist state. It was only just over 100 years ago, under the Uthmani Khilafah, that Jews, Muslims and Christians lived together in peace. Is that true or not, brothers and sisters? Yes. Do not lie to us with this media narrative. This is a political issue. It is not a religious issue. The Muslims, the Christians and the Jews have a long history of living together in peace. So I ask you, brothers and sisters, again, do we want to live in harmony again? Yes. I can't hear you. Do we want to live in harmony again? Yes. Do we want to free Al-Aqsa? Yes. Do we want to free Palestine? Yes. Do we want to end the occupation? Yes. Inshallah. The next point is that I am absolutely disgusted as a Palestinian how it is that the people in Egypt, in Turkey, in Jordan, they feel the Palestinian issue so much and they're asking their governments, why are you not moving? We have armies, we have weapons, we can stop this occupation. Why are they not moving? They are happy to cause disasters in Yemen. They are happy to cause disasters in Syria. They are happy to cause disasters in Iraq and Afghanistan. But all of this time, the Palestinian issue has been going on. Why have you not moved? So I ask you, brothers and sisters, do we want them to do something about it? Yes! Do we want these armies to move? Yes! Do we want them to free Palestine? Yes! Inshallah. Leave you with this. We are not fools. We know that the ceasefire is not a victory. We know that the two-state solution is not a victory. We know that negotiations are not a victory. Sitting down on the table and talking about peace this, peace that, that is not a victory. There's blood on the floor. People are dying. We only, as Muslims, as Palestinians, we have built one victory in our mind. Free Palestine, remove the Zionist entity, and free Al-Aqsa. Do we want to do that, brothers and sisters? Yes. Do we want want to free Palestine? Yes. Do we want to end the occupation? Yes. Inshallah.
Together as a team, we are going to raise funds. We are going to. There's a petition hanging around that is going to go to Henry Smith today. Put your name on it. It says that you back all national petitions that are for the protection of lives in Palestine and against any aggression on Israel as well. So sign it. We are raising money, funds by One Nation. Those funds will go 100% donation. We give you our words that we will give 100% donation. All costs will be funded by us brothers giving medicine to the hospital there. We know the hospitals were bombed on the first day of the Al-Aqsa invasion that happened. So please give generously, and we will go to Snowdon on the 12th of June. Together as a community, please sign up, give as much funds as you possibly can, be generous, and there are a number of kids out there with some boxes. Please give them as much as generously you can, and any other issues, there are numbers on the flyers, and we'll be giving them out straight afterwards. Thank you very much.